We're thrilled to have you here.
It's
You are cake royalty or food royalty, gastronomic royalty. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't believe you believe any of that.
I do, actually.
Anyway, I'm thrilled to be here. It's lovely.
Now, we want to compare, first of all, our loser faces from the National Television Awards. Mine was obviously a real full-on grimace.
You know, the appalling thing is that I was so bemused by what was going on because it was such an extraordinary event that I hadn't actually cottoned on to the fact that they had already judged it. So I was just looking around. And then I suddenly thought, oh, there's a guy, you know, oh, it's the dog chap, he won it.
That'd be Paul already.
And so my loser's face was a sort of absence, you know, old lady is gone, not, I wasn't there.
Do you care about awards, really? I mean, do they mean anything?
I think awards do mean a lot. I really do. Whatever a tiny little award makes a big difference, especially to the sort of team who's produced it or the publishers or whatever. So I do care about awards. But I did think the whole ceremony went on too. I mean, I don't know what you think about the red carpet, but it might sound incredibly glamorous. But when the cameramen are all tucked up in their
It was
puffers,
cold, it was raining, right?
Yes,
it was horrendous.
It was snowing.
Yes.
By the time I got there, it was snowing, and we're in these sort of flimsy
We're all getting
things.
soaked. All the ladies' hair was being destroyed.
And their shoulders freezing.
Horrific.
You had a nice warm jacket on. We had practically no clothes
Well,
on.
I know, that's the thing. You have to look glamorous for the pictures.
Do you hate the red carpet? Is it like...
No, normally I absolutely love it because I'm such an egotist. I just love it when people want to talk to me. You know? But I had Raoul with me, and so he was the main attraction. I mean, people love him.
Do you find...
Anyhow, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Do you find... Are you not allowed to talk about it?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about Bake Off much.
Why not?
You know, where's Piers to talk about the Costa? That's why.
Oh, I see. You've been instructed.
I've had this problem with Piers before, you know. I have to give him my desk steer every year.
You do.
Because he always wants to talk about Bake Off, and I'm always here about something else.
Well, it's interesting because he hasn't actually asked a question about Bake Off.
In fact, it was Susanna that asked you. I was going to not ask you.
Oh, I'm heading
But now
it off.
she's done it.
No, what I was going to ask you was, do you find that, because you're such an expert, do you find when you go to people's houses they get very nervous about cooking for you or baking for you? Because that obviously hasn't put Celia, Piers' wife, off. She has deliberately...
She prepared these yesterday.
I was wondering
She
what you were
literally
sitting
never
there.
baked anything in her life.
Can I?
Right?
Yeah,
and she baked these cookies for me yesterday. Now, I need you to give your genuine opinion, right? You don't have to worry about... I've got the recipe here.
My Paul Hollywood opinion.
Well, you give it be as withering as you like. I'll tell you what the recipe was. 1 egg, oats, coconut flour, vegetable oil and honey.
You may need to sit down, Prue.
Now, be honest, Prue.
Well, I'll tell you what. They look 100 times... I mean, they taste 100 times better than they look.
Really?
They do not look good.
They do not look good. The presentation's terrible, right? You think they're all right to eat?
Yes, I'd eat that.
Really?
But I have just had breakfast. So
I mean, to say she's a bad cook is, you know, would be to be over-complimentary.
I can recommend a very good cookery school.
Really? You're one?
Yeah.
Maybe I should send it to you. Can you turn anybody, however bad, into a good cook?
Yes, anybody can learn to cook. What they can't necessarily learn to be is Gordon Ramsay.
Right.
You can't...
I don't think anybody wants to be Gordon Ramsay, do they?
I think you could learn to be a really competent cook, no trouble.
If you had... You've given me a thought here. If you had 2 hours left to live in your life, who would you get to cook your last meal?
Ooh.
And if it was a restaurant, where would you have it?
Yeah.
Well, Nigel Slater would be the cook.
Right.
And I'd have it at home.
And why Nigel Slater?
I just love the way he cooks. It's quite simple, you can understand it.
What's your absolutely favourite meal? What would you want him to make for you?
The Last Supper.
No, but that's difficult because my favourite food is oysters and he wouldn't have to do anything to them.
That's true.
The oysters as a starter.
When I got married, I got oysters. I had oysters for my first course, oysters for my main course, and then treacle tart.
Really?
Piers, I'm getting worried. I know we've only got 9 minutes and I want to talk about Costa.
Well, talk about Costa, then.
OK, good.
You're the one banging on about oysters. Come on.
Oh, my fault.
What do you want to say about Costa?
Well,
Other than it makes great coffee.
Yeah, it does make great coffee, but that's not the point.
How many books did you have to read, Prue?
We had to read 5, which is not very many. I mean, you know, there are 5 categories, and the category judges have to read about 20 books. And there are about 600 entrants to Costa.
So you delegate the actual reading of all the books to other people?
Other people. The final judges just choose, and then it becomes really difficult because you're choosing between 2 novels, one first novel, one not, long narrative poem, a children's book, and a biography.
How can you compare those things?
Exactly.
That's like
What was the
apples
best
and
book you read? I
oranges.
mean, in the end, a book, rather like a cake or rather like anything, it comes down to a visceral human reaction to what you are sampling, right? Which was the book that moved you the most?
Well, it wasn't so much moving me. The book I chose was the one that I would love all my friends to read. I just couldn't put it down. I really enjoyed it. It was thoroughly satisfactory. You know, I like books that when you put them down, you're sad to see it go, but you're somehow the ending is what you needed it to be. It doesn't have to be a happy ending, but it has to be satisfying.
I totally agree. It's like a TV series or a movie. If at the end you feel dissatisfied, that's the ultimate crime.
It's
got to leave you feel, for whatever reason.
Oh, that was wonderful.
They can all die, but as long as you feel satisfied about it.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen some films where you want them all dead, but you know what I mean? It is a thing.
I think that's good criteria for judging.
Yeah.
And is that how you would leave us all with Celia's?
Well, she'll be
cookies?
thrilled. The fact that Prue Leith has given it
Were you satisfied?
it tastes
Would you
100
recommend
times
them to your
better than it
friends?
looks.
No, all right. I've been judging Celia's cake, and not very kindly. Perhaps she can judge my next novel. Which is called The Lost Son. Comes out in April. And if she can see if this ending is sufficiently satisfying.
I will get her to do that, and it's lovely to see you.
Probably after what I've said about her cake, she's going to say
she will be thrilled that you said it was 100 times better than it looked. She was fearing the worst.
It tastes really good.
It wasn't that bad to eat, actually. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like the most appetizing thing you've ever.
When do you actually make the final decision, or is it all made?
Tomorrow. No, we don't. All the judges turn up together, and we, like choosing the Pope, we get locked up until we come to an agreement.
So there's white smoke.
And we all come with our. It could take 5 minutes if we all come and say, well, my favourite is that be over.
And your chairperson is our drinking partner, Sophie Rayworth.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right.
Well, she used to be a drinking partner. She's gone all like Susanna, abstemious.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's so boring.
You don't want too many abstemious
I lunched with the pair of them. They had one glass of champagne between them, and it wasn't you that drank in it. And I was left to get drunk with the bloke, who actually was great fun.